this is Ree here. Thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate all of you. Om Klim Kalike Namaha. Thank you so much for liking and subscribing. It really helps me a lot. Don't forget to check out my website, paradoxastrology.com. Book your consultation today. I can help you with anything. And if you would like more exclusive occult videos that I don't post on YouTube, consider subscribing to my Patreon. It also helps to support this channel. Okay, let's get into this video. So on October 9th, Jupiter will be stationing direct and turning retrograde. So I'm just going to talk about a few things that I've noticed that may reoccur. So this is going to be happening on October 9th until February 4th, 2025. It will station at 27 degrees of Taurus on October 9th, and then on February 4th at 17 degrees Taurus. Now, we will be revising the events that occurred in our lives from June 12th until now. Now, on August 20th is when Jupiter went into Megashira, and before that was in Rohini. So, if you think back to June 12th until now, the events that happened in your life, then we're going to be revising them, or they could be reoccurring for the second time. There's many different possibilities, but usually the same events start playing out. Now, I was looking back at the events that occurred last time that we had this retrograde in this exact same spot, which was in 2012. So on October 30th, 2012, Jupiter was retrograded at 21 degrees. And on that day, Hurricane Sandy, which was one of the biggest storms to hit the US, forced Wall Street to shut down operations on that Monday, while the storm lashed the eastern coast. And many companies had to postpone their earnings and releases. Previously, the markets were to remain shut only partially as electronic trading activities were to remain open. However, with the event of the storm potent enough to affect around 60 million people, the markets had to be shut down completely and remain so until the Tuesday. Now, Sandy was a record storm. It was the first time in 27 years that the markets were shut down due to weather issues. Also, the NYSE's announcement to shut down operations on that Tuesday marked the first time since 1888 that the exchange would be closed from back to back for 2 days, and due to the weather troubles. Incidentally, this happened on the anniversary of the Wall Street crash of 1929. Now, I say that because I see this reoccurring, having a very big storm and it affecting the economy in a very deep way. Like maybe these two won't have anything to do with each other. Maybe they'll be separate, but there are a lot of events that are signaling the economy and a storm. Now, this will be in the US 6th house of debt in Taurus, and Taurus is money, which aspects Saturn in the 10th house. And Saturn is at 24 degrees. So when it stations, it's going to aspect this almost directly. And this will be on December 8th. On December 8th, Mars will retrograde in its 8th house of shared resources in Cancer, where it is not in a good position. And it will conjunct its Rahu, and the US is in Rahu Dasha, and Mercury by sign. It's in Rahu Mercury Dasha right now. Jupiter will also be aspecting this by the 3rd aspect, which is trade, and the 2nd house of money, where K2 is. So this is another reason why I think a major crash can occur during this time. This can involve a major disaster that affects the US as a whole, but can also have to do with the war and an attack on a leader, because the 6th house is the house of war. Also, in October 2012 is when the US began action against the embassy attack in Libya, and the US Special Operations Command prepared data to use to capture the militants suspected in the attack on its embassy the month prior, and the suspects included those with ties to Al-Qaeda. So the reason that I'm saying this, and I don't believe the stories, like complete stories that are on Wikipedia, which is what I'm reading right now, but I'm just saying that there were a lot of military action and war going on during this time as well. So that is another reason why I think that this is a potential of happening as well. Now, the 22nd was Hurricane Sandy, and Hurricane Sandy was referred to as a superstorm, and it was extremely large and devastating tropical cyclone which ravaged the Caribbean and the mid-Atlantic regions of the United States in late October. It was the largest Atlantic hurricane on record, and it cost $70 billion in US dollars in damage, which is equivalent to almost 93 billion in 2023. So this was a huge storm, and I heard that there is a storm approaching Florida. So I think people should be very cautious, and also to be cautious that the government won't help you. It doesn't seem to be helping anybody in the US when there are these major storms. And there is a reason for that, but I won't get into that. So I just want to warn people about it, that you will have to do this on your own, and if you can evacuate, then do it. Now, this will start to affect Israel by the end of December, when Jupiter retrogrades on its ascendant Lord, which is in the 9th house, making it rethink its foreign alliances, affecting the homeland, and it can go into a different direction with Rahu in Pisces at this time. More conflicts will emerge when Venus enters Aquarius, which is its 6th house of war, on December 28th. Canada is reviewing its matters of finance, which are directly related to its alliances in war. There can be some losses due to this, which are because of foreign alliances. A Jupiter retrograde will affect the market, and this can affect the housing market as well, just because of what I have seen in the eclipses. And this can affect Japan, just like it did on August 5th when it lost 12.4%. So we're going and retrograding back on the spots where the markets hit highs and hit very lows. Now, there's other things going on at that time, and this was roughly around August 5th. And so there's a potential that that doesn't happen, but we have to be very cautious of that, especially when the Mars retrogrades. And this can happen on around December 8th as well. So there's a lot of things that will be happening around this December 8th date. So from November 6th to December 1st, there is a mutual exchange between Jupiter and Venus, which will give strength to Jupiter and Venus, to Taurus and Sagittarius, but Mars will still be in Cancer. So there's ups and downs there, but this can increase wealth for some. An increase in possessions of material assets can happen, especially when Jupiter is in Rohini. Positivity in love and relationships, or multiple relationships when it's in Megashira, and some of these can be coming from the past as it aspects K2 and Virgo. A major transformation of material assets between October 9th and November 6th, as Venus is in Scorpio, digging deep into shared resources, rituals, and occult methods to gain such things. This can have to do with taxes, diseases, floods, crisis, insurance. Going within to research others, and crime can also increase. December 1st to February 4th, Venus will be in Capricorn, and then it will go into Aquarius, and spending becomes more practical as we enter the holiday season. And this is probably because people start to budget for the holiday season, and corporations start spending money on their employees, and also money is spent on humanitarian causes. So this is just a small breakdown of what I see happening with this Jupiter retrograde. I thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of you, and I'll see you in the next one.